Okay, game two, the rematch against Jed's combined army. This time I'm going back to vanilla YuJing since I've already won the first round with Imperial Service, so going back to a list that I most recently used against Hakislam. The table layout has been changed around a little bit, and we are playing the integrated mission system that I've designed myself. I've shown it off in one or two other battle reports. This is where you get 75 points per console captured, plus 50%, 50 points for taking the HVT, but after that it's just adding the surviving points you got left of the game. So it's an integration of annihilation and capturing consoles. Right down the bottom of the photo you can see I've got a couple of Zanshi inside a building there, and he's deployed his impersonating specular killer right next to them. But I've won the roll for first turn again, so I'm going first, so this allows me to actually move the Zanshi out of the way. We check the rules, and if you lose your lieutenant during your active turn, you can nominate a new lieutenant at the end of the turn, thus avoiding the loss of lieutenant situation. So I figured that would be my best bet, and luckily I've got 5 orders in group 2 which contains the lieutenant, so I should be able to get out of there. Next image, just looking at the battlefield side on, you can see the 3 consoles through the middle of the table, very similar to Incursion and War Machine, partly the inspiration for the scenario. And inside that building I've got a red camouflage marker representing the Guilang Fort Observer, same with on the building further across, and of course the Dragon Lady in the center. He's running a similar list. I think he's tweaked it a little bit, but generally fairly similar sort of stuff. Alright, next image, this is a picture from his side of the table. He's got the TR bot to the left on one of the small buildings to the left, bottom left of the field. He's got some Hungries, more rats, obviously the mark rep tracker. HV2 is the pink chap at the middle right of the photo, and of course the Echidrons hanging out back as well. Next image, okay, it's my first turn, moving around with the Zanshi lieutenant with the lieutenant order, and he chooses not to reveal himself. Of course, if he did, I could just shoot him. If he shoots back and wins face-to-face roll, then that means that I can nominate a new lieutenant, so looking, feeling pretty good. Attempting the discover, but not managing to pull it off there, unfortunately. Next image, so the lieutenant, as you can see, just following the green arrows, moves all the way around here and goes to safety, and in the meantime just spreading out a network of Guangxi and Zanshi, just ready to intercept the Specula if it tries to move around. Of course he could pull this off just if I fail all of the discover rolls, but given that everybody's so close, it's highly likely that she'll get discovered and I'll have a chance to beat it off before it kills the lieutenant next turn. Next image, Shinobu Kutsune has infiltrated to the halfway line and then spent in order to move up closer to this building here, drawing a line of fire to the Tyranid, so the top left, representing Hungries of course, and shooting one down with a combi rifle. We go to the next image, causes that Hungry to explode, which actually clips another one of the Hungry's models, unfortunately. A little bit of a bad placement there by my opponent, and unfortunately for him it actually destroys the second model as well, so netting 2 kills right off the bat there. Really good stuff. Our next image, Shinobu moves around the corner and rather audaciously engages the TR bot. Now, she's up against cover and mimetism, so +3 for short range, -6 for those other modifiers, so she's total -3, netting 8s on 3 dice, whereas the TR bot is up against cover and TO camo, so it's -9. It's not in the +3 range band, so the TR bot will be needing 2s, whereas Shinobu needs 8s. Going to the next image, you can see that the first roll involves me getting an 8 and my opponent getting a 2, so luckily for him, he doesn't die here. Luckily for me, I don't get killed by the crit either, so we can keep going into another round, and of course Shinobu does manage to destroy it with a second order. Thank goodness, that could easily have gone wrong. Next image, the Tiger soldier with Spitfire appears on the side of the table and is able to move around here and is going to be cracking off shots at the Hungry and the Morat, so looking to take both of them down. Next image, after he manages to do that, we're on the other side of the battlefield here, where a Guangxi with light smoke grenade launcher and Guangxi control device, so a Celestial Guard with those items, I should have said, moves around with her combi rifle and makes some long range shots against the AI beacon at the top left there, destroying it pretty easily even at long range because it's not a face-to-face roll, it's just a bunch of normal rolls, so really efficient there. Next image, just a bit of an overview. So you can see the red camo markers 1 and 2 are the Guilangs. The one on the right is prone. Shinobu Kitsune further upfield with the black silhouette token has gone back into TO mode. The Tiger's just hanging out in the top right without any suppression fire, unfortunately. The rest of the troops are just hanging back. No orders spent on them those so far, except for the Zanji Lieutenant, who has actually crept even further around the back there, so should be safe against the Speculo Killer, we're hoping. Next image. Okay, so the TR bot to the left-hand side is on its side, just to represent the fact that it's unconscious, and we've got a Icadron Batroid moving up at the bottom left there, just trying to avoid line of sight from Shinobu and the Tiger, so that's what it's going to be doing there. Next image, he makes it all the way around here. Shinobu's just ignoring him at this point, but the flamethrower actually managing to destroy the Tiger soldier, not passing the armor check, although the Tiger attempts to shoot back with his gun and doesn't end up killing the Batroid, the Icadron. So there you go. Next image. Okay, so moving past here, discovering Shinobu straight away. She's deciding not to react because if she does, she's going to get hit with double flamethrower, so I'm not really loving that option. She wants to just burn through as many enemy orders as she can and survive as long as possible. And look, if she dies at the end of the turn, but he spends all of his orders doing that, that's an acceptable outcome for her. Next image, the enemy model here attempting to flamethrower her again, but passing the normal dodge roll and just pulling out behind a little bit of cover here so that if she keeps passing dodge checks, she can eventually move into total cover, we're hoping. So that's the outcome here, looking pretty good for Shinobu. Next image, we've got I believe it's a Yaogat. Yeah, I think it's a Yalgat. The one with, or might be more, no, it might be in a Rodok. I think this is a Rodok. Obviously, it's being represented by a Razyat, but it's the one with super jumps, so that must be the Rodok then. And he's got a boarding shotgun in this profile, just bouncing his way over the terrain here to come and attack Shinobu. Next image here, so the Rodok moves around. Shinobu's going for a special dodge smoke grenade. I think that she failed it, but the Rodok also failed his shot with the boarding shotgun because of TO camo. So, unluckily for my opponent there, Shinobu gets away again, although the smoke wasn't actually placed in this case, I believe. Next image, okay, we're up against a mine this time, so he lays a mine. She uses her special dodge to pull around the corner though, so even if another order is spent, she's not going to get hit by the mine. So Shinobu really agile here, dodging everything. That's what we like to see. Looking really good for YuJing. Next image, it is now the end of his orders, it's my turn, so the Guangxi just moving straight forward here, and with an order spent on him after the Impetuous has been moved, letting go with the chain rifle onto this Icadron Batroid guy here, and blasting him, so good work Guangxi. Next up, okay, so having discovered the Speculo Killer, the Zanchi at this side moves around and actually fires his combi rifle, but loses the face-to-face roll even though it's up against only a single dice and dies in the attempt, so that was a bit silly. Next image, okay, we've now got our mysterious TO camo marker moving aggressively through the battlefield, and that's soon going to put him into position to attack the mark rep tracker, the building at the top left, as well as a Morat to the left hand side, and there's even a mysterious camo marker behind that hollow billboard there, and the pink model there's the HVT. Next image, it is the hack tower with HMG, of course. So what he does here is he unleashes 3 burst shots into the mark rep tracker with HMG, who's not in suppression fire, and the 4th one just shoots at the Morat behind the crates there, which is not pictured in the photograph. And as you can see, the HVT, sorry, the hack tower is not within line of sight of the camo marker behind the billboard, so managing to destroy the mark rep tracker. Next image, okay, Hack Tower moving a little bit further forward, and you can see that he's still up against the Rodok, so not the Rodok, the Morat. I believe it's a Dacher outside that he still hasn't killed yet, and there's a camo marker there, so if we skip this photo, go to the next one, it reveals to be one of those Shazvasti chaps, I think the Alswang or something like that, and a Morat as well. So spreading the burst out here, he's not at the optimal range span though, our friendly Hack Tower, so not managing to get the kills that he wants to. So this ends up in a bit of a stalemate. Next image, okay, with the Icadron fellow destroyed, Shinobu moves back and still out of line of sight of the mine and the Rodok. Excuse me, getting a bit of a cold here. And trying to capture this objective at the bottom left in the name of YuJing, but unfortunately failing the whip checks. This is a custom scenario, guys. Non-specialists can attempt to control the objectives, but they are -3 whip when they attempt to do so. So, again, I've said this in previous battle reports. The idea behind this is so that you are encouraged to not just rely on the specialist profiles. You don't have to automatically go straight for the forward observer profiles for some troops, but again, specialists do get an edge. They're important. You're not just going straight for the really good weapon loadouts either. So I believe it's a bit of a balancing act, and we're happy with how it's working so far. Next image, okay, so the end of turn, using a coordinated order for suppression fire, there's a Guilang forward observer appearing on the roof, represented by the Guilang with a sniper rifle, even though he's got a combi rifle, and the other Guilang in the center of the table having picked up the center objective, so that's controlled now. Going into mass suppression fire, so 2 Guilangs and Shinobu Kitsune, all with combi rifles going to suppression. Not the Hacktail though, because if he did that, then they get a free set of AROs against him, so he doesn't quite want that at this stage. Next image, we've got the other Ikadron back droid dude. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. We're talking about the baggage guy with 2 flamethrowers here, so he's moving carefully forward, and that's going to allow him to get into position to threaten the Hacktail. In the next image, he does exactly that. A little bit of a blurry photo, but putting down both flamer templates on him, actually failing the dodge roll, so taking 2 armor saves, failing one, and then taking another one because it's fire, and failing that one, so the Hacktail just goes down straight away, unfortunately. Next image, we've got our Rodok shotgun chap moving around the other side of the building, and moving around in such a way that he's not being seen by any of these models initially, and then he moves a bit further forward. So in the next image, everything goes off, mines explode, he shoots his boarding shotgun, Shinobu puts down a special dodge smoke, suppression fire goes off, so the Rodok dies. He does kill the Guilang though, so a bit of carnage here. Next image, okay, so the Speculo killer who's not within line of sight of anybody just spins an order to go straight back into impersonate mode, and the Quangshi's just hanging around the corner waiting for her, just in case she does start to get on the move and spend orders, in which case he'll try a reveal, or try a discover I should say. Next image, okay, we've got a dead, an unconscious Hacktail, and we've got a Quangshi at the bottom left moving up for some reason there, but as you can see there's a Guilang with combi rifle at the top right. I'm pretty sure the Yao-Gut managed to kill him. Can't quite remember what happened there. Maybe he's unconscious. I can't quite remember the sequence to play at this point, so we'll skip this photo onto the next one. Yeah, okay, so no, the Guilang forward observer here is alive, so he's moving up to put down a mine, and the thinking here is just to really make it hard for the enemy models on this side of the table to move around through the center and take back the central objective, because that's one thing that could sort of even things up for him. Next image after that, he's continued to move around here and putting down yet another mine, and going to have a bit of a shootout with this Shazvasti chap here, but failing the shootout and actually dying instead, I believe is what happens there. So next photo and final photo for this turn, mass suppression fire. I've drawn these yellow diamonds around the full models in suppression fire, and some extra lines to show their line of fire. So the point I'm trying to get across here is that there are 2 objectives taken for YuJing, but there's so much stuff in suppression fire with combi rifles that it's going to be hard for the combined army with their 4 or 5 orders remaining to penetrate these defenses. A wall of bullets at this point, and mines. Next image, we've got a couple of camouflage markers here for the combined army forces getting on the move. This one next to the building is just hopped across with a lieutenant order, so just done a bit of a jump across. No problems there. Next image after that, my opponent here having a lot of fun with the line of sight laser, really a bit of a novelty for him, so he's really enjoying it. I find the battery in these things is a bit inconsistent. Sometimes it just stops working for a bit and then it comes back on again. You have to shake it around. So once it is working though, it really is a beautiful tool. Next image, we're trying to auto regen with the Mark Rep tracker, but he fails the whip check, so dies, unfortunately. I'm not sure if you're allowed to spend a command token retrying that, but yeah, he didn't have any command tokens left, I believe, so that's what's happened there. And next image, we've got our Shazvasti chap moving over to the objective, dodging a mine at this point, so the mine goes off, but he does dodge it. and then the next image after that, he moves over to the objective, passes the whip check to capture it in the name of the combined army, but does die to all the suppression fire. So a heroic move there from our alien friend. And next image, this will be the final image of this game. We've got one last lieutenant guy coming up here to try something, but gets shot down by the Guilang in suppression fire immediately. And that's the end of the game. Adding up the scores, okay, so I'll just grab my piece of paper. Here's how it went down. So we added it up. For me, I had 133 points worth of models remaining. For my opponent, he had 125 points worth of models remaining, so I'm ahead by 8 points in terms of attrition by the end of that. He's got one console accomplished, so 75 points for him. I've got two, so a plus 150 for me. So no HVTs dominated, so I end up with a score of 283. He's got a score of 200. It's a win by 83 points. Let me know what you think of the scenario, guys. Having talked about it with my opponent, we're thinking about playtesting the scenarios being worth 100 points instead of 75, because you want a situation where if you get all three consoles and your opponent's got none, but you've been completely tabled, yet you've killed one guy, like 5 points worth of your opponent's guys, then you still win because you've got three objectives to nothing. But yeah, I'm comfortable with 75. Let me know what you think. Anyway, this is going up on Flame Strike, so please rate and comment in the link in the video description. Thank you so much.